the stage I'm in right now, nothing exists in the world without an artist. So I've moved from wondering if I should be an artist to recognizing that without an artist, don't nothing exist.
Right.
Nothing.
That's your favorite album cover.
This right here, an artist built this, an artist designed this.
That's right.
Nothing exists in this physical world that an artist didn't first create in their mind and then put down on paper.
That's good. That's right.
Boy, you done trained your ducks.
Yes, I have.
What?
We good?
What just happened? Is that on tape? Like,
Yeah, that's the real deal. That'll be up there in a minute. We are back, man, having fun as usual, offset with another episode of the Instincts Podcast. When I tell you, I've known this gentleman over half my life since I was in my teens, and it's so exciting to see him turn art into life or life into art. Derek Jackson, 1R, is in the building, man. First and foremost, we start the show off with a question that everybody must answer, right? The show is about turning tribulations into celebrations.
Yeah.
People see successful people like yourself, you drawing, you looking like you're having fun, you got the music going. I got to think of another word for drawing, because, man, you do more than that, but they don't know it's always a backstory before you started to express yourself like that. What's the most challenging thing in life so far you've had to overcome, and how did you overcome it?
So that would be 2016, the worst year of my life.
That wasn't long ago.
It wasn't. And a lot of things was building into it that I didn't recognize. But the worst thing was, I was doing great in corporate America, had to climb the corporate ladder, took everything I learned over the years and moved my way up to director and was let go. Lost that six-figure gig. And prior to that, I didn't realize I was already sort of heading into a kind of a depression because I was feeling unfulfilled. I didn't know if I wanted to do what I was doing the rest of my life, and it was truly a midlife crisis.
Wow.
And lost that job. Marriage was this close to divorce. Undiagnosed depression.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I really just didn't even know what to do. I didn't know where I was going to go, what was going to. I mean, it was rough, man.
It was rough.
Very, very dark time.
So the best part about the question is the second part.
Yeah.
Right? Because now obviously you sitting here, how'd you overcome it? What was that turning point where you said, you know what? I'm done with that.
Yeah. You know what? You just sort of one day wake up and realize that I'm choosing to be here. Like once you realize that where you are is the result of the thoughts that you've had and the activities, then you recognize, well, all I got to do is change my thoughts. And things will change.
Gotcha.
So I started thinking about what I was thinking about. And I started focusing on thinking about things that would get me where I wanted to go in life. And I started back drawing.
That was it?
Yeah.
Because you got to a point where you stopped doing your
I hadn't drawn in probably off and on, but consistently, maybe 20 years, man.
Really?
Yeah. Once I graduated from college, had the kids, I had an art degree. Once I graduated, it was full-time dad, full-time husband, trying to provide and be that guy.
Right.
And art just, for whatever reason, I mean, the reasons you can imagine, but I let it go.
Got you. It didn't fit into what you were doing at the time.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, man, let me ask you this, because whether it be in retrospect or whether it be now, you said something interesting. You had the good six-figure job, but it wasn't fulfilling you, so you were kind of undiagnosed depression. Do you think God took the job away because it wasn't fulfilling you? Do you think there's a connection?
So I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was angry because I was like, well, I mean, God, I appreciate you clearing it. I appreciate you clearing it out, but I wasn't ready. Everything was going well. I mean, when they let me go, we had just had the biggest year we'd ever had. And so I was unhappy. I was unsatisfied, but I was making money. So money makes you feel better about the unhappiness.
That's right.
So
I always tell people you can be miserable in some nice places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was horrible. I didn't like the things that I was having to do. I didn't like the person I was becoming. I didn't like what my focus was on, and it was really not about doing anything that couldn't be done by someone else. It was really about, I mean, honestly, just the dollar.
Really?
Yeah.
The job was.
The job was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Derek, so there's a lot of people out there watching right now that are like, I'm down in the dumps. Because you told me you gained weight.
Yeah.
You told me
gained about 20 pounds, 20, 25 pounds.
25 pounds, you gain weight, you're feeling depressed, your marriage is on the rocks. What though? So the job really had nothing to do with those things. The job, the money helped you master those things.
Yes, it did.
Okay.
It did.
Okay.
And at the time, it was what my identity was wrapped around.
Got you. I always wonder why do you think people wrap their whole life and identity into what they do for a living? In retrospect, now that you're drawing and you're happier now, why do you think we wrap our whole life into what we do for a living? It's because that's where we spend most of our time.
For me, I think it was easier to say I was a sales director than an artist. I think it carried a little more social, maybe a little more status, a little more juice. Yeah, a little more juice.
Got you.
You know, most people don't. I was a sales director. Hey, working with hundred or so employees. It sounded good.
It sounded good.
It sounded good, and it stroked my ego. The ego's not enough. Ego's not enough. Ego only allows you to mask it.
Got you.
And at some point, if you're true to who you are, and I happen to be one of those guys who just I wanted to represent my truest self as an artist, I came to realize that I was unhappy.
Got you.
I just was not me. You know, look at how I dress, man. The average person doesn't wear doesn't wear a neckerchief, right? So I was corporate, man.
Something else.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was having to go in those meetings and be somebody I wasn't and say things I didn't agree with all the time. I had awesome people working for me. I couldn't really talk to them
the way you want to.
I couldn't be me.
Yeah.
Now I think they saw me, but the job was allowed me to mask it. That's what it did. And I'm not hating on the company I was working with. They provided me a fantastic lifestyle.
Right.
But my inner turmoil and my inner struggle was in the fact that I was an artist that had not recognized. I'm a reluctant artist.
Got you. And we talked about that. That's the most profound term I've heard in a long time. A reluctant artist. So right now, Derek, we got somebody out there that's trying to act. Somebody out there that's trying to sing, somebody maybe even trying to rap, somebody trying to draw. Help them draw the bridge or parallel between being true to themselves. Yeah. Don't put it on the shelf for 20 years. God gave you the talent.
Yeah.
But there it doesn't pay right away. How do we keep people from losing themselves? Like in retrospect, what did you do to keep, if you had to do it again?
Yeah.
Hey, I got a corporate American job and that's fine. That pays the bills. But hey, I'm an artist. Unapologetically help artist draw that paradigm shift?
Well, for me, my artist skill set had yet to produce the type of income that I wanted in life. And I believe that a lot of people who are artists also have the ability to do other things.
Right.
And those other things may be something that's a little more pleasing in society, a little more appropriate, and they may choose to do those things rather than being an artist because they have the skill set and they're able to be relatively successful. And it's easier to do that. But as a creative, you won't ever, I don't want to tell someone what they won't do.
Right.
But I knew that I would never really truly be like comfortable in my skin if I wasn't being an artist, despite the fact that I can sell.
Really?
And I can coach some sales. I coach sales better than I sell.
Right. I understand.
Real talk. And I had to wake up and realize, just because I have another skill set doesn't mean that I'm not supposed to do what God put me on the earth to do. And so if I'm talking to an artist, I'm going to say that there's some things that you're going to create, that you can create, that if you don't create them, they'll never get created.
Wow.
So some of the images that I've brought to life, that I believe God has placed in the atmosphere, they're supposed to be created.
Got you.
And it's the job of the artist to be the conduit, to be the pathway for that expression.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
And so I had to recognize that it's my job and my duty and my responsibility to the gift that I was given to do that.
Got you. I got you.
And if I don't do that, does it matter if I sold a bunch of policies? Does it matter if my team was the number one sales? Does it matter really? because I didn't do the things that only I could do.
Got you. That's deep, man.
Yeah. So
That's
so
deep.
so I had to embrace that. I had to embrace that the uniqueness of who I am.
Yeah, I like
and,
that.
and everyone has this ability, and people tell me all the time, I'm not an artist. Yeah, you are.
Just how?
Yeah, you are. Everyone is an artist. All art is taking something that wasn't there and bringing it to fruition, whether that be through song, through dance, through the visuals. But everybody does that. That is what
Art is.
art is. That's what God does. So God is an artist. God thought it, and before it was out here, and then he made it. So all artists do is that.
Wow.
So we're all artists. Some of us are, better at it.
Right. Right. Whatever that expression is.
Yeah. But so I had to get to the point where I recognize and embrace the fact that, I can draw.
Right. Facts.
Well.
Oh my goodness. Well.
I can draw well.
Yeah.
And I had to, recognize that, hey man, I'm a better Derek than I am sales director.
Absolutely. So, you mentioned a few things. First of all, let's tell them where they can find you up front. Give me your IG, give me your TikTok, give me your Twitter, give me whatever.
Yeah. So I ain't on TikTok, I ain't on Twitter. But you can find me on IG at Derek Jackson Art. That's DERICK Jackson Art. One R, as Brian indicated earlier.
Man, go check his stuff
Derek
out.
Jackson Art.
I love how you adding the music to it. I love how you got it nice. It's not just a JPEG, right?
Yeah.
It's you actually making it happen, stepping back, looking at it, adding the fun to it.
Yeah.
Do you feel like now you, what Kevin Hart calls it, you're in your jello? That means everything just
It's
shaped
coming.
and formed.
It's coming.
Yeah.
The whole music thing, because I'm a hip hop head, and I'm a music guy. So everybody who knows me, they know that about me. If you want to know who the latest cutting edge, who type of music, what you should be vibing to, I caught a couple
Holla
people I can throw your way. So, and lately the music I've been vibing to is my son's music, at TJ Pampas, Tyler. But
Yeah, do it.
Yeah. So, so the music is really to let people in on what my process is truly like. So when I'm drawing,
Gotcha.
I'm actually like, whether the camera is rolling or not, there's music playing and I'm drawing.
Right.
I'm standing up and I'm grooving, or I'm sitting down and I'm switching hands. I'm drawing with one hand, erasing with the other. So it depends. But
You can draw with the left.
Oh yeah.
You're right-handed.
I'm right-handed.
And you can draw with the left the same way.
Yeah. So I can draw with one hand, draw with the left hand while I'm erasing.
That's crazy. I saw a guy,
I didn't even know that was something that wasn't normal until you just like, oh.
No, they ain't normal. Let's be honest. I'm not an artist.
Yeah.
But I would just think that being able to do anything with the other hand, that you're obviously not. You know what I mean?
I'm not as good.
Yeah, but that's crazy.
Yeah, but I can do it.
I saw a guy, man, take on Instagram, take 4 or 5 pens and brushes, and whatever he was doing here, these other ones were moving.
I seen that.
Ain't that crazy?
Yes,
That's
I'm not
crazy,
on.
man.
So you know what I love most about the internet is I sit back and I'm looking. There's some really, really talented people.
Yeah.
Yeah. As an artist, I admire the creativity that people. Oh man, it's
Because that's
awesome.
because you don't have no hate in your heart, man.
None, man.
You don't have
I
no
love
jealousy in your body, and,
No.
and you appreciate the art and other people expressing themselves. You know what I mean?
It drives me.
Yeah.
And I mostly follow artists.
That's it. Oh,
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, so I
And
wanna-
they
I wanna-
better follow you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I said it.
Yeah.
But listen, man. So let's go back for a second to
Okay.
that time.
Yeah.
Marriage, gain weight, lost a job, depression setting in. Somebody's watching right now that's got a few of those qualities and characteristics. How did you pick the dominoes back up? Did the marriage come together, which helped you bring this together, or did this come together, which helped you bring the marriage together? If you had to go back to that, how'd you stack the blocks and re-erect them one at a time?
I started drawing first.
Okay.
Yeah,
so being yourself started it.
Yes.
Okay.
So me and Jay, my wife Jeanette, who I've been married to 25 years in April.
Got through it.
Yeah.
You
we
got
made it
through.
Made it through.
Good.
So I needed some time away. So I actually moved out of, 100% transparent. So I moved out of the house.
Gotcha.
We weren't talking. She living her life, I'm living my life. Now because of where I was, having just lost that job, I didn't have the type of income that would allow me to move.
Travel and all
Yeah, no.
that.
So I was in mom's house.
Right, exactly. I'm moving
So
out.
I moved out, but I was
Home.
I was back at the house.
Right,
Right. So
right.
I'm late at night, laying in the bed, just reflecting. And the thing about silence and the thing about alone time is if you use it right. So I started reading, I started listening to books on tape, because I understand the power of, you know, the gates and what comes in, you know, what's coming in your ears, what's coming in your eyes, what are you saying? So I get that. So I was really big on making sure I spoke what I wanted, I visualized what I wanted, I listened to what I wanted, and it was really all about art. It was really about me finding me. Now, there was a lot of fear in that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And most of the fear came from the fact that, you know, I'm about to be 50, and most of the guys who I was in class with who were artists, they came out of school and went right into art.
Really?
Yeah, they were on art on some level.
Right.
And so they have years of doing it, perfecting their craft. My fear came from the fact that, well, I'm 20 years late. Is my art even relevant? Do
Gotcha.
people even like it?
Gotcha.
Am I as good as I thought I was?
Gotcha.
You know,
I
so
think we all had that
yeah.
time.
So I was going through that, and so that time alone allowed me to recognize that, it don't matter. Like, it really doesn't matter if I'm the best at it, because I'm the best at it my way.
That's right. And
You know,
that's unique enough.
That's all it took.
That's right.
So once I wrap my head around the fact that I don't have to be, and there's some people out there who I'm really like in awe about. I don't have to be that guy. He's doing his thing, she's doing her thing. All I had to do was figure out how to be the best Derek.
That's a fact, man.
What
It would be
does
like me
what does
looking at-
Derek's art look like?
Yeah. If I look at Eric Thomas, or if I look at Tony Robbins.
I love E.T. and I love Tony.
Love
I love both.
Tony, love both. And I'm a speaker, and I'm going, it would be like me looking at them going, well, I could never be on stage like that. Well, hold on now. He doesn't have my DNA. And I have to remind myself,
Yeah.
I don't have his DNA. So why don't you just do you, and the people that resonate with you will rock with you, instead of you worrying about whether or not you can buy an island like Tony Robbins. I'm starting off small.
Boy, that's
You
easy.
know?
Now, B, that's easier said than done.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, it sounds real good.
Yeah.
It rolls off the tongue so nicely.
Yeah.
But the fact that you're someone who teaches it and you battle with it,
Tells you
then you know that the average person, it's a
struggle.
It's a struggle,
It's a
man.
struggle. It's
Like,
a
how do I be the best me? Who am I?
Right.
Because most of the time, who we are has been defined by the roles.
Somebody else put on you.
I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm a Q, I'm a bulldog, go dogs, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
But who am I? Who is Derek at the essence without all of that? And so
that's the point.
that time away, that quiet time, that silence, that alone time allowed me to figure out that I think I'm an artist.
Got you.
And
Gotcha.
it was really like, maybe I should draw.
Yeah.
Like,
I heard that silence is more than just merely the absence of noise. Silence is more than just merely the absence of noise. So
Indeed.
we stacking these things back up. So
Indeed.
you start drawing again.
Indeed. Yeah.
At what point does the wife in the relationship start to mold, or do we go find some work? You know, get stabilized first. So what's the next step? Because I want people to draw their own parallel with their. I'm not going to say depression. I'm going to say their state where they may be at an all-time low for them.
Yeah.
Let's get them back up. We start being true to ourselves, number one. What happened next for you?
I read.
What did that trigger?
Yeah. So I read a lot. I read As a Man Thinketh a million times. James Allen, great book. It's a little complicated as far as the vernacular is concerned, but
It
great
is.
book.
Yep.
I read Your Infinite Power to Obtain Wealth. I can't remember who wrote that. Your Tongue, like Charles Capps. I can't remember the name of the book, but anyway, so I started reading a lot of books about speaking and talking. So, but what really set it off was, so I was in the process of doing all of that, moving forward. I had written goals down. I had a little note card. I would wake up and I'd read my goals, and I was running every day. It was really just an internal activity. I started moving. I didn't know where it was going. I just knew I needed to do something that was focused on me. So I started sketching or whatever, and people started it's just weird. When you start moving in a direction where you want to go, things appear. Opportunities arise.
Yes.
So people would reach out and say, hey, yo, you know what I'm saying? So I know you used to back in the day, would you do a logo? So I did a couple logos.
Gotcha.
I did I knew some Deltas who needed a jacket done, so I did a design for their jacket, just little pieces, and I just and in that January, my car was stolen.
With the momentum you gaining.
I'm going into the year like, yeah.
I'm back.
And then my car was stolen.
Get out of here.
Yeah. So, and then when they found it, it was over with. So I didn't have a car. So my first piece I did was a piece called Idle Hands, because I believed that the kids who stole my car had idle hands.
So you went right back into the expression.
I had to.
You had to, yeah.
Because I didn't know what else. I didn't know. All I knew how to do was draw, and I didn't know that it was going to be that was going to be the catalyst. But it ended up being the catalyst. So I took out a piece of paper and I went in search of some images that moved me, and I found some images that moved me, and I created that image, and I put it out there. Because at the time my hands were idle. You know. Now I chose to stay busy differently than those young men or young women, whoever it was that stole my car. But I recognize that your hands can't be just idle. You got to be doing something.
Got you.
Yeah. So I decided to start back drawing. That was the first drawing I did. And after I did that drawing, the feeling of completing that drawing gave me so much energy, I did another one.
Yes, keep the momentum going.
I just kept doing drawings. And the feedback, because, you know, like I said, I was a little fearful. I didn't know if people would like it. And the feedback from the people who follow me, who rock with me, who know me, my whole life is, yo, you're supposed to do something. Every time you see people, they ask you, are you doing it?
Right, absolutely. That's a sign.
Yeah.
That's a sign.
Every time they see you, like, yo, man, you still drawing?
Yeah.
And I was like,
They know me for that.
no, right now I'm blah, blah, blah. And so it was cool that when people say you still drawing, for me to be like, yeah, I just did something. And so it started building. I started doing more drawings, and boom, 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 and then so after that, just to bring it all together, I think Jay noticed a change in who I was, and the fact that I resembled the man she fell in love with a little bit more,
As opposed to the other guy.
as opposed to that other guy. And we started spending some time together, start talking, and we're able to move past move beyond the past, and started building again.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So me finding the artwork came first. Then she came aboard, and when she came aboard, and we were together, and she was rocking with me, it was a wrap.
I definitely want to talk to you
It was a
about that.
wrap.
I'm
It was a wrap.
put a pin in the relationship piece of coming back with somebody and being stronger.
Yeah.
Why, this is going to be a difficult question, but why do you think people who are as gifted as you are with that art, man, any of us watching, I mean, y'all got to go see it. You're going to be like, I know what you're going to say, like, how could he possibly not believe that he was good, great, gifted? Why do you think some of us don't recognize what we have?
I don't know. Maybe society has sort of created a certain standard as to what's considered smart or good or desirable, acceptable. Yeah. And, people call it starving artists. Like, artists don't really get the love they deserve. And honestly, when you really, like at the stage I'm in right now, nothing exists in the world without an artist. So I've moved from wondering if I should be an artist to recognizing that without an artist, don't nothing exist.
Right.
Nothing.
Not your favorite album cover.
This right here, an artist built this, an artist designed this.
That's right.
Nothing exists in this physical world that an artist didn't first create in their mind and then put down on paper.
That's good. That's right.
So once I recognize that, I'm a part of I'm a group of the individuals who shape the world. There's power
That's good,
in that.
man. That's good, man.
So let me embrace that and stop trying to do something that anybody can do. I'm not knocking corporate America. I'd be really a hypocrite if I did that. But it's such a different feeling when you're doing something that you're supposed to do.
Right. I think you have to find that balance.
And most people don't ever. First of all, they're afraid to look. So you ask me, why don't they do it? They're afraid to look at themselves critically. And then if they are willing to look critically, they're unwilling to change.
That's two. So you already got two things you got to open on. Yeah.
And if they are willing to change, they're not willing to continue to change, because change happens every day. Like, you don't just change one day and then the next day it's all good. No. If you were on this path and you had this line of thinking,
right,
and all of a sudden you're trying to go over there, you got to change every day to get over there. Like, every day you wake up and you got to recognize, oh, I can't think like that and I got to do this.
Change didn't happen once.
No.
Yeah.
Change is continual. And man, it's hard. That's why they say it takes 21 days to create a habit, because around day 15, I'm like, boy, stop.
It gets harder and harder. It's getting harder and harder, but you get closer and closer to the habit and the change you need to create life-altering circumstances.
Yeah, and I was to the point where I just had to change. I didn't want to change. I didn't want any of that to happen, man. I didn't want to be feeling like that and thinking like that and hurting like that.
I think what happens, you hit it on the head. You hear these kind of words, just like a speaker. You know, make sure you have a backup plan. You know, make sure you now let art be your fallback. Brian, let speaking be your fallback. Let acting be your fallback. Let music be your fallback. And it's like, because the educational system took out the program. See, they used to feed the programs.
Yeah.
Used to feed that young man who wanted to be good and be a carpenter. Remember, we used to have 3 tracks.
Industrial art or something like that, where you can make stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, we used to feed the art program. We used to feed home economics and create that next chef. We used to feed people who were
technical aspect.
The technical aspect.
The vocational aspect.
The vocational aspect. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was 3 tracks.
Yeah.
Now, you take that out, give a kid 1 track, and that's college or nothing, and then you wonder why all his hopes, dreams, and aspirations go down the drain, because you don't have anything in place from the beginning that says it is okay to go after your goals and make a living being creative.
In a nutshell.
Yeah.
Because, and I love my mom, but my mom was, so my mom really praised me for my art, and she never told me not to do it, but she really, really, really praised me for my grades and my science, GPA, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Nothing that was really art related. And I don't fault her for it, because, like you just said, society is not built that way. Now, what's awesome is in today's day and age, the artist, like the young person who's an artist now, well, they have access to the world.
Yes.
So if they choose,
they can express themselves.
they can do it. It used to be, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, but this is my opinion. It used to be where everyone's voice was not heard. And the reason everybody's voice was not heard is because you hadn't done anything to earn the right for your voice to be heard. So the people who you heard about were people who were on TV or they had done something notable. As a kid or 12, 13-year-old, you knew your homeboy in your neighborhood, the folk you went to school with, but you didn't come in contact with a guy in cross country or across town.
Absolutely.
But the internet now has that same kid in East Point, College Park, can put up a page and express himself or herself, and someone in Germany can see it. That right there is
no middleman.
Oh, it's powerful.
Yep.
It's powerful. So, I'm a little jealous.
Yeah, that they're coming up in the era where they can just have a direct relationship.
Yeah, right. So now I'm like, how can I catch up? So I'm behind like Twitter, and I'm like, I got to catch up because I'm an old head. I'm an old head who needs to recognize, and I recognize it, but I need to figure out how to. Boy, how do I jump on it? How do I do it?
Well, I'm not a social media expert, obviously, with my 3 followers, but
you got at least 4.
At least 4 now. Help me out. But I will say this, man. With art, I would just say, hey, Pinterest, IG, you don't need no Twitter. I'm not against Twitter, but with art, I would say Pinterest and Instagram, you can't go wrong, man, and take it from there. Yeah. So you get back on track. Let's talk to some people whose relationship may be on the brink because they're dating somebody or married to somebody who's following their passion. Your wife actually ended up seeing you in a different light after you became true to yourself. Now we're back to that 3rd brick, I call it. Things are on the mend. Bring me back to how y'all get back in the same house. This gonna help a couple out there somewhere. Say, look, let's go and come back together. I recognize now what? Yeah,
so I chased her down. We had been together since we were in our 20s. We got married in college, had kids in college, and I don't recommend that, honestly.
Yeah, because you don't know y'all.
Yeah, you don't know jack, man. you don't know anything about. So, you don't even know how much you don't know. You just a ignorant ass baby.
Having
babies. And you're trying to figure out how to do all that and be who. So we but. I think at that time, though, while we were babies, I was a pure version of myself. I was doing some art. I was really in art at that time.
Gotcha.
Because I changed my major. I was creating a lot around campus. So when she met me, I was in my element as an artist.
Gotcha. Yep.
So
she knew that.
She knew that guy.
Yeah.
We got married and everything. So I think the time away, me starting to create again, and we would spend time together, I think I just reminded her of that guy. I think, you know, one of the things about being with someone a long time is you get comfortable and you forget, you know, if you're a woman, you forget that your husband is a man. And if you're a man, you may forget that your wife is a woman. And with that means everything that you think it means. It means that he's a man. And he your husband, she your wife, but so you can't ever forget that.
Now elaborate on that, D. When you say he's a man, therefore what? And she's a woman, therefore what?
What that means is there's some things that are innate to the gender, to the chromosomes, to the nature, the nature of a woman, what women like, what women want, what women need.
Gotcha.
And she's a woman. Now, the fact that she's your wife, sometimes you stop looking at her as a woman.
Gotcha.
You see her as your wife, you see her as the mother of the kids, and she becomes just that person in the house.
As opposed to remembering what a woman needs.
What a woman needs.
Got you. I got you.
Because to every other man, she's a woman.
Got you. And he remembers that better than you.
He reminded her on a daily basis that she's a woman.
Segment. Absolutely. Got you.
Because he don't know her in that with the roles. All he sees is her riding down the street and whatever she's driving, walking. So he sees her in that element that you used to see her in. But now you done seen behind the curtain, you know what I mean?
Right.
The Wizard of Oz, like, you know. So, but he's still enamored by the Wiz, you know, Wizard of Oz, like she is all that.
Still a lot to reveal. And he's trying to get to know
her. And he's gonna treat her like a woman.
Man, that's good. That's good.
And so the same thing with women. You can't ever forget that your man is a man. And so if you stop treating him like a man wants to be treated, because other women are going to treat him like a man. They're not going to treat him like a husband because he doesn't have that role. They're going to treat him like a dad. So as long as you keep that in mind, that your husband is a man and your wife is a woman, I had to recognize that.
Gotcha. Keep that hat on. That's good.
Keep that hat on.
That's good.
So we came back together. Well, I don't want to speak for her, but I recognize that.
I got you. I tell you, man, one of the best things about doing this, honestly, is that it's bringing a lot of my old friends back, man. You know, because we grow up. We
know each other for 30 years.
30 years. You lose touch. I don't know what you've been up to. I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
But it's a good segue. We talked off camera about your son.
My daughter.
Your daughter. And actually made the decision, or explain to me semantically so I can be correct in how I say it. Your daughter made the decision. Well, explain to me.
So, and I corrected you because
that's how she's identified.
She identified. She identified. She was born a male, but she identifies as female, transgender female.
Right.
So, her name is Tia. She just rocked it out. Had a show this week. Came in second runner-up for this big event here in Atlanta. Performance.
Performance.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she performs.
Okay.
But she performs under the moniker Miss He. Anyway, so great show. Came in first runner-up. Didn't win, but she did great.
Close.
So I don't know how much time we got, but I'm gonna get into it a little bit.
Yeah.
So
I want to help people understand, as black men, that raising a transgender child, what it takes. A lot of people get embarrassed. A lot of people don't know how to tackle it, but you're a shining example of how things should go.
Oh, I feel like everybody else though. I was embarrassed and I was hurt, and so all of that. Now, so she didn't walk in this light initially. Okay. Initially, I'm not gonna use her dead name, but she initially was like, I'm gay.
Gotcha.
So I was like, oh. Yeah, as a dad, you kind of suspect anyway. You're like, you kind of.
You see tendency.
Yeah,
you saw tendency in retrospect.
Absolutely, I did, and I think my wife did too, but I think she was in denial. But as a dad, you kind of had to come. I had to come to realization early on that this conversation may occur. So I had to go on and just get right with it.
Makes sense.
So I got comfortable with it. I was ready for it. So when she came out at the time, I was like, okay, well, it is what it is. Because I recognize that I ain't me. Like I don't understand any more than the next person, but understanding people spend too much time trying to understand stuff. Cause you don't have, so what good does it do you to really understand other than to
Accept.
Well, no.
Or embrace.
No, you don't have to understand to do either of those. You don't have to understand to accept.
Okay.
You don't have to understand to embrace. Understanding makes you feel better about it.
Okay.
But you don't need those things. Grace does that.
Okay.
So if you're willing to extend someone grace, you don't need to understand.
So just be. Just be.
Just, hey, I could no more want to date someone of the same gender as she could want to date someone of the opposite gender. And once I recognize that it's on that level, well, I can't. So I hear people all the time, well, it's just a choice. You're deciding that and you need to decide it's God, the Bible. Those people are really tripping. Because if I wanted to set the example of, hey, you're making the decision, I'm going to show you how easy it is for you to like someone you say you. So initially she said she was gay, and I'm like, okay, you like guys. That's a decision. You're just choosing. Like, why don't you like girls? Well, let's say I'm going to show you how easy it is. I'm going to like men to show you how easy it is for you to like girls.
Got you.
You follow that?
Yeah, I got you.
You know how ridiculous that is?
Yeah.
Because I ain't never going to like women.
Right.
I mean, like men,
Right.
and she ain't never gonna like women.
Got you.
It just wasn't gonna happen.
Got you.
So once I recognized that it was part of how you are, how you're born, it is what it is. I didn't control it. I didn't do anything. It became me just recognizing it's my kid. Just like they had a big nose, you know. It's it is what it is. I don't gotta walk in her shoes. I don't gotta wake up every day feeling like she feels. I don't have to deal with society's thoughts on her. And so me and my wife, we're not gonna be the ones to make you feel any worse about it.
Got you.
You already got the world telling you're sinning. You already got the world telling you you're blasphemous. You already got the world telling you, so why would I do that?
You got to come somewhere where she's
You're safe. It's a safe place.
Yeah.
And you my kid. Like, I birthed you.
Yeah.
If I don't love you, I don't love myself. I love me.
So how do you
Now.
Do you find right? Exactly.
Now.
So do you for people who don't understand it, do you to make sure that she's never offended, or do you find yourself having to protect or talk to people ahead of time?
I make mistakes all the time.
And say, listen, she's
listen.
understanding that it's a process. Or
Listen, I'm a man, so I could probably be more sensitive. I apologize in advance. But, her decision is her decision, and the rest of the world has to catch up. She can't be upset if it takes the rest of the world longer to catch up. So so if people who've known her for 20 years under one name, if she now comes around and say, this is my new name, she can't be mad at them people if it take them a minute.
Gotcha.
Because you made that decision. Your decision does not affect, your decision, how you want to live, does not affect the people around you.
Gotcha.
Unless they want it to.
Right, gotcha.
And so they have to make a conscious effort to then do something different. And it takes them a minute, and you got to be patient. So I don't go around telling people, if it comes up, I'll correct like I did. But I ain't sit down and, hey man, just in case I don't do all that. She got to figure out how she made that decision, so she walking in the world and she's prepared for that. And it's not my job to, I don't do that for Jay. I don't go around and say, hey, my wife is recognized as a woman. Like I don't, what I'm saying? I don't go around for my other girl, for my daughter and say, well, am I straight? I don't do that.
Right.
So why would I do that?
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? It's just,
Now
it's uncomfortable. I'm a pretty masculine kind of guy. You may not know it from the neckerchief, but but I'm actually a pretty masculine fella.
Yeah, man. We know it from your side. We know it from your side.
Yeah. So I'm a pretty masculine dude. So it was kind of challenging for me, and real talk. Most of the Qs don't talk about it. Most of my friends don't. I think for them.
They think the conversation, it's actually an uncomfortable topic for them.
More than it is for me.
More than it is for you.
Yeah.
So they think that you don't want to talk about it.
So they never come up. But they didn't see the post, they know. And if they haven't, they're going to see eventually. And so I love my kid, man.
I think it's more important, the more people start to understand transgender, bisexual, gay, lesbian, the different labels that we put on each other.
Yeah.
I think if you think back to how depressed you were for not being true to you being an artist.
Oh, yeah, man.
That had nothing to do with gender. That had nothing to do with, that was you having an internal battle with yourself with a form of expression. Can you imagine somebody not being
can't.
able to express? Can you imagine her
I don't know
having
I have
to
no
live?
idea how hard that was.
Yeah. That's a little aha moment for me on right now as we sit here too. To hear you 30 minutes ago with how depressed you were, not being able to express yourself. Can you imagine what your daughter was going through?
I can't.
That's amazing.
I can't. I don't know what it's like to be trapped in, to feel like you're trapped in the wrong body. I don't even know. That's just. So I'm sympathetic and I admire her courage and I admire her. We worry, you know, like, you know, you worry about somebody doing something to her. I worry about somebody, because there's a lot of hate, man. The world is full of hate, and haters ain't shy.
Yeah, they let you know.
Yeah, they let you know.
Yeah.
The people who rock with you may come up behind you, hey, by the way, just want you to know I'm really, but the hater out front with the sign, you know, the hater, and you don't got to look far for the hate. And so I can't imagine what that was like just on the internal part. Because for me, if I don't come out as an artist, even if I come out as an artist, people don't hate me.
Right, that's different.
You know what I'm saying?
That's different.
Like, it was hard for me to not live my truth. But when I decided to live my truth, people didn't hate me. In fact, they congratulated me. They talked about how awesome it was. For her, she had the same struggle to not live her, when she decided to live her truth, the hate. Like, that's a different.
Did she deal with a lot of it?
I don't know, but I would imagine so.
Yeah.
I mean,
How old is she?
20s and 26, 20,
26.
96, so 26 in July.
26 in July.
Yeah,
And how
26,
many
27
years
in July.
now has she identified
Oh,
as a woman?
this has been I guess we're on the third,
So it's early.
second, third year.
It's early.
Yeah.
It's
She's
early.
just going through the name change process now.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
man, I salute you for
Yeah.
even being willing to discuss it. Some people wouldn't even want to talk about it. I know we talked about it off camera, and I just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure that more people saw shining examples of what being a real father looks like.
Yo, it feels weird to be congratulated for doing something you're supposed to do, but thank you.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. And that's true too.
You know what I'm saying? It's
like Brian, why you
you know
congratulating?
what I'm saying? Like, you supposed to.
I guess because so many people are shallow. I just see so many people who are shallow. And I guess now to even celebrate somebody that's being real, it's sad we have to do that. Yeah.
I'm like, yo, it's my kid, man.
Yeah, what else you supposed to do?
And I don't always agree with, you know, our earlier conflicts were around me and like, yo, you sure you want to do that? Like, you sure you want to wear that? Like,
Yeah.
Like, won't you? You sure you want it? Because I'm still like a parent.
Yeah, in general.
I'm
yeah.
like, you know, all right. So
to an outsider, it may look like you're trying to come down on the individual because of the decision they made, but you would probably say that either way.
Period. I said to all my kids, like, you sure
you want to wear that?
Yeah. You sure you want to do? You sure you want to go here?
Yeah.
You sure you want to post that?
Yeah.
They post a lot of stuff that I don't think.
Their whole life is
they should not post everything.
About you.
And I don't know how you get them to recognize that you don't post everything.
Yeah. Well, it's the world they live in now. It's how they grew up. We grew up outside riding bikes and doing all of that. They grew up more with social media. This is where we express ourselves. So it's going to take something for them to see that everything don't deserve to be out there for the world to recognize. You know.
For sure.
Well, I tell you what, man. You are the epitome, bro, of more than just an artist, man. I love this show because it's bringing a lot of the guys back together.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends, period. Not just guys, but young ladies as well. And you are the epitome, man, of tribulations turning into celebrations.
Ooh.
And I'm telling you, man,
I receive that, B.
I salute you, man, because when I look at your stuff, if you haven't seen it, you have to go see this man's stuff. How do we purchase it? Is an art gallery the only way to go see it?
So all of my stuff is online through DerekJacksonArt.com. Go there, check it out. Before I plug myself too much, I want to give big ups to B, because Brian was that young whiz kid. Like, everybody knew, everybody in College Park. everybody on the CP side of town, we all knew this was a special young man. He was in his 20s. The fact that he was able to build businesses and he's been able to build people and he's been able to create a legacy, and you know, we've done some things, and so I can't speak enough. I can't give you enough praise for what you've done, man. And there are people all around America who have sat at your feet and been able to benefit from the knowledge and the wisdom and the pearls that you dropped on them, and they live lives that they didn't have before they met you. And I know that the reason that you've been blessed so much is because you've made it a goal of yours to give, and you're a servant leader, and I just really respect you. I admire everything that you do.
No, I appreciate it.
And I rock with you.
Of course,
I rock with you.
Of course,
you know what I
man,
mean?
of
But yeah,
course.
you go to DerekJacksonArt.com. Back to me.
Yeah, get it back to you,
back to
man.
me.
It's about you for sure. You gotta see it.
DerekJacksonArt.com. Check it out. And you can also, you can send me a DM or something, because a lot of people want me to do portraits. And while I can do that, I really much rather bring to life the images that you've had in your mind that you've not been able to find, that you like, you know what, I would love to have a picture that blah, 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 blah. That's what I'd rather do.
Now, so let me ask you this. What's your specialty? Like, in other words, some people do abstract. I'm just going to name a few things I don't know.
Yeah.
You said you rather stay away from portraits. That's why I hand you a picture and say, can you draw this?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So if I go to the site, when they go to the site, come to me for what?
Yeah. So if they go to the site, they'll see some images that I've already created, and I've created duplications, reproductions, excuse me. So they can go and they can get a print made, and it's cost effective that way. But if they want an original piece of artwork, is really what I'm talking about.
Makes sense.
So when you come out doing an original piece of artwork, portraits, because I'm not a portrait, I can do it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so I can do it.
I know you can.
But I don't like you telling me they don't look like them. I don't like you saying stuff like, as I look, I just think his nose too big.
Yeah.
So I don't want to.
So
I don't want to have to be like. I feel like I'm at a job. I feel like I'm working for you.
If you give me something.
If you give me something, now I gotta please you.
Gotcha.
I much rather you buy the work because I did it. Because you like my style, you like my art, you like the image, you like what it represents, and so you can get those images at Derek Jackson Art. Or if you have an image in your mind that you like to get done, we can sit down, knock something out. And on occasion I will take on a portrait, but it has to really, really move me.
Gotcha.
And I don't do them that often. One, two a year.
that lucky person.
Yeah. For real.
Man, listen, it is a great day to change lives. Derek Jackson Art, Derek with one R. And when I tell you guys, he is the epitome of turning tribulations into celebrations. This segment has been brought to you by Monetize Your Message. Why? Your story belongs to you, but your message belongs to the world. Y'all make sure y'all go check my man out. Good enough.
Peace out. A-Town down.
Hey, man. Good stuff, man.